Why power sharing is important and why it is desirable? Why power sharing is very much needed? We looked at two examples of Sri Lanka and Belgium, and we understood, student, that power sharing is very much important, because if power is not shared within the country, within the nation, it might lead to civil war. Here, power sharing helps to do a lot of things. It helps to reduce the possibility of conflict between social groups. So let's say if in a country there are 2 to 3 social groups living together, one group is belonging to majority, another to minority. Because as in Sri Lanka, it was the Sinhalese against people speaking Tamil. In Belgium, it was Dutch speaking French. So what happened was, these two countries had exactly the same problem, but the idea, the method to the idea and the method to basically understand the situation and act according to it was basically way more better in case of Belgium than of Sri Lanka. Power sharing also it reduces the workload of higher authorities. Let's say if we don't have power sharing and there is only one sort of government ruling over entire nation, what will happen is that government might end up not looking at the people belonging to the rural areas, people who are not getting the profits or anything if the central government is still providing, right? So what will happen is, when you share the power among the people, when you share the power among the social groups, every social group will flourish and every people will have equal opportunities. If you look at Pakistan, Muslim community is growing rapidly at one pace, and the Hindu community, which was minority in once when the partition happened, is now gradually declining, because there is no sort of power sharing and the power was not given to the people of Hindu community. Okay, so this is just one example I'm telling you. An example of Sri Lanka and Belgium is very much more desirable to understand this. Now, it reduces the possibility of violence between social groups. Now, what is violence is, let's say if there is a conflict between two social groups because one social group being in majority is overpowering the other social group being in minority. That was what happening in Sinhalese, right? With Sinhalese in Sri Lanka. So in Sinhalese, basically they were in majority, a majoritarian government was formed and they were supporting Sinhalese in every way. But they were neglecting Tamil people or the people speaking Tamil language in Sri Lanka. What happened was, the situation grew very more tense and the people started to feel alienated. And once this situation arose, what happened was, the people started to make their own political groups. They started doing rallies in protest, and this thing basically turned out to be the worst and it led to civil war. So it also reduces the possibility of violence, which is very more dangerous. Many people have lost their life because of all these things. Next was, it reduces the risk of political instability. What is political instability? Let's say if there is one particular community ruling over another community, applying their own rules, everything, that you have to speak certain language, you cannot look after your own religion, you cannot look after your own culture diversity. So what will happen is, the people in the minority will grow, will make their own government, and then this will also make another political instability. So the people in the power won't be able to rule the country in a peaceful way. Next, power sharing is the very spirit of democracy. Yes, India is the biggest democracy. If you see in India, every minority, majority,